कि असीं उस मुल्क में रह रहे हैं जिस मुल्क के हर एक को अपना धर्म जोड़ा उस मुताबिक सब कुछ करने का अपने धर्म से चलन का पूरी खुद पूरी आज़ादी है। ये मुल्क है जिस साड़ी बहुपक्षी सब का सारिया ने उस मानता प्राप्त होगा। उस करके तुम देख सकते हो ये एक नमूना अज का प्रोग्राम कि सिटी हाल च बैठे बैसाखी मना रहे हैं और खालसे का सैंकड़ा दिवस मना रहे हैं। वो अपने प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत करते हैं। ये बहुत दिन प्रोग्राम है। दूजे प्रोग्राम जो है ये अज पहली अप्रैल का प्रोग्राम 9 अप्रैल को अमृत संचार का प्रोग्राम गुरुद्वारा इस साल नगर कीर्तन दिवस तब्दीली कर दी गई है। वो ये है कि गुरुद्वारा नगर साहब नगर कीर्तन आरंभ होंगे तो 5 बजे श्री गुरु सिंह साहब गुरुद्वारा साहब पहुँचेंगे। उत्थे स्टेज लगेगी डिग्निटरी साहब ने अपने मैसेज देंगे ताकि गायन करेंगे वार्ड तो वो इस तरह के प्रोग्राम अपनी कम्यूनिटी के दौरान दे सकते हैं।
Yeah. Good to see how it is. The more the merrier.
Program. We commence the celebrations of Vaisakhi and creation of the Khalsa. This is the first of 5 programs that will be happening in the city of Edmonton. I welcome you all, especially Honorable Minister Christina Gray, Councillor Mo Banga from the City Council. He is bringing greetings from the City Council and the Mayor. And there is Mr. Shiraz Kanji from Interfaith. He would say a few words later on behalf of the Interfaith. In fact, this whole program and similar programs, they have been the result of all these past years what Interfaith has been doing. They have been bridging creating bridges between communities, between the various religions. We are very proud to be members of this, citizens of this great country, citizens of Alberta, citizens of this wonderful city, that we are experiencing the multiculturalism in practice. It is happening right in here and we are enjoying it. We are grateful to Lord God Almighty to give us the opportunity to be the citizens of this great country. We are going to start the program in a minute, so welcome you all. We'll start with a prayer from Gyaniji, who is priest in our Sri Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara. The prayer would be in Punjabi, as usual, same with what we perform in the Gurdwaras. I would ask Gyaniji to come here and say the prayers. Gyaniji. Please, all of you, stand for the prayers.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਸਹਾਇ। ਕਾਲ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਦਸਵੀਂ। ਪ੍ਰਥਮ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਸਿਮਰ ਕੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਈ ਧਿਆਏ। ਫਿਰ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸੈ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਇ। ਅਰਜਨ ਹਰਿ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਏ। ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਈਐ ਜਿਸ ਡਿਠੈ ਸਭ ਦੁਖ ਜਾਏ। ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿਮਰੈ ਘਰ ਨੌ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਧਾਏ। ਸਭ ਥਾਈ ਹੋਏ ਸਹਾਇ। ਦਸਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਭ ਥਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਇ। ਦਸਾਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰ ਕੇ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ। ਹੇ ਨਿਮਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਣ, ਨੇਤਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤਾਣ, ਨਿਓਟਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਓੜ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਿਤਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਐਡਮੰਟਨ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਵੈਸਾਖੀ ਅਤੇ ਖਾਲਸੇ ਦੇ ਸਿਰਜਣਾ ਦਿਵਸ ਨੂੰ ਮਨਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਇਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਿਖੇ ਉਲੀਕੇ ਗਏ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਾਂ ਦੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਸਿਟੀ ਹਾਲ ਵਿਖੇ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੰਗ ਸੰਗ ਸਹਾਈ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਸਫਲਤਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ ਜੀ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਯਾਦ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਵਿਸ਼ਵ ਜੰਗਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਬੇਸ਼ੁਮਾਰ ਫੌਜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਆਤਮਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਦਾ ਨਿਵਾਸ ਲਈ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਜੀ। ਸੰਸਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਮਨ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਵਰਤਣ ਲਈ ਸਹੀ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਮਿਲਣੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਚਿੱਤ ਆਵੇ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
यानी जी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, थैंक यू वेरी मच। यानी जी made the standard prayer, and what he said towards the end of the prayer is that, "O true," I will translate into English, "O true Lord, the Sikh community of Edmonton is celebrating Vaisakhi festival and anniversary of creation of the Khalsa in the City Hall today. This is the first of the few programs planned for this event in Edmonton. Kindly bless us with success in our endeavor. We are also remembering today those brave Sikh soldiers who participated in the 2 world wars and thousands of whom attained martyrdom, showing exemplary fortitude and courage. God Almighty, kindly keep their souls in thy fold forever. Grant us the company of those by whose association we may remember thy name. May all be in the ascendant through thy name. May all prosper in thy will." Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa. With the Nagar Kirtan since its inception in 1999. Now, Biba Sabrina Kaur, she would speak for 8 to 10 minutes on Vaisakhi and creation of the Khalsa. Biba Sabrina Kaur.
Vaiguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaiguru Ji Ki Fateh. Vaisakhi is a seasonal festival in India. Indian people celebrate this festival before the harvesting of the wheat crop. After the founding of the Khalsa Panth in 1699, it became a very important day for the Sikhs. The 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, gave a very unique concept to this world with establishing Khalsa. Khalsa is well known for its sacrifices for humanity and prosperous society. Khalsa believes in the equality, love, peace, and brotherhood, but at the same time, Khalsa is a saint soldier who always fights against injustice, tyranny, and oppression. Today we are celebrating Khalsa Day in our City Hall. I want to share a brief history of the day with you, but first I would like to thank everyone for coming and participating in this event. Sikhism is the 5th largest religion in the world. About 23 million Sikhs live in more than 180 countries around the world. Sikh principles teach for hard work, sharing with those in need, feeding the hungry, the belief in one God, selfless services, love, peace, prosperity, standing against injustice, and equality. Equality is a state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. When Sikhism was created, the entire caste system was eradicated. In the words of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, "Manas ki jaat sabe ekko pehchanbo," consider all mankind equal. This was a very drastic and significant change in the lifestyle of the Sikhs. For centuries, Sikhs are known for their great values, morality, strong character, and patriotic lifestyle. As I mentioned in the start, Vaisakhi is a festival which is celebrated in the memory of the founding of Khalsa. It is celebrated on April 14th each year around the world, and in Edmonton, we also organize a big Sikh parade in May on the Victoria Long weekend every year. On Vaisakhi Day in 1699, Guru Gobind Singh Ji called Sikhs from all over India to the city of Anandpur Sahib. At this gathering, the Guruji called upon Sikhs to uphold their faith and preserve the values of Sikh faith. Guru Gobind Singh Ji then lifted his sword and asked that anyone prepared to give his life for his faith to come forward. There was a big silence, but the Guru went on repeating his demand. One Sikh finally came forward and followed the Guruji into a tent. Shortly after, the Guruji reappeared alone with his sword covered in blood and asked for a second volunteer. Another Sikh stepped forward, and again the Guruji took him into the tent and reappeared alone with his sword covered with blood. This was repeated until 5 Sikhs had offered their heads for the Guruji. Finally, the Guru emerged from the tent with all men dressed piously in blue. Guru Gobind Singh Ji called the 5 Sikhs the Panch Pyare, the 5 beloved ones. The Panch Pyare were then baptized in a unique ceremony called Bahul. Guru Gobind Singh Ji prepared Amrit, holy water, in a bowl using a khanda, a short steel sword. Amrit is a mixture of water and sugar created while reciting Bani from scriptures. The Guruji then knelt before the 5 and asked them to baptize him as well. The Guru proclaimed that the Panch Pyare would be the embodiment of the Guru himself. Where there are Panch Pyare, there am I. When the 5 meet, they are the holiest of the holy. The Panch Pyare were the first members of the Khalsa. Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave the Khalsa a unique identity with 5 distinctive symbols of purity and courage, known as the 5 Ks. The Guruji gave all Khalsa men the surname of Singh, lion, as a reminder to be courageous. Women took on the surname Gaur, princess, to emphasize dignity. With a distinct Khalsa identity, Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave all Sikhs the opportunity to live lives of courage, sacrifice, and equality. These Sikhs were to dedicate their lives to the service of others and the pursuit of justice. And that is all for today. Thank you.
We celebrate the anniversary of the creation of the Khalsa with pleasure and pride. In the 18th century, the Sikhs were persecuted and the very existence of the Sikh nation was threatened. But the Khalsa came out like forged steel and was able to establish a kingdom in Punjab, the like of which had not been seen for more than 1,000 years before. About the Sikh character, Lepel Griffin says, but the Sikh is always the same, in peace, in barracks, or in the field, ever genial, good-tempered, and uncomplaining, a fair horseman, a stubborn infantry soldier, as steady under fire as he is eager for charge. So this is what the Khalsa got from Guru Gobind Singh Sahib's blessings. Now we have Honorable Minister Christina Gay, Minister of Labour, amongst us here. We are honored with her presence, and I would request her to come and say a few words and a message from the Government of Alberta. Honorable Minister Christina Gay.
Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'm very happy to join you here today for today's ceremony in Treaty 6 land in the heart of one of our province's most diverse and vibrant communities. I'm thrilled to be here to celebrate Vaisakhi and to bring greetings on behalf of Premier Rachel Notley and my colleagues of the Alberta government. I'd like to acknowledge Councillor Banga is here with us as well. I've been seeing him quite a bit in my home riding of Mill Woods, where we share some overriding territory. My thanks to the Edmonton Interfaith Centre for organizing such a wonderful event and bringing us all here together today. What a beautiful day it is to be celebrating harvest, the Sikh New Year, and most importantly, the birth of the Khalsa. It's It's in the spirit of Vaisakhi that I would like to speak to the tremendous contributions the Sikh community has made in our province. Your hard work, traditions, values, and rich culture are priceless and have helped to make our province the vibrant cultural mosaic that it is today. And I'm honored to be here to celebrate the many contributions your community has made to the prosperity and cultural richness of our province. And in this time of festivity, I wish you continued prosperity, success, and joy in the coming year and for many years to come. In my short time as a representative for Edmonton Mill Woods, I know the Nagar Curtain was one of the first and one of the most colorful festivals that I've been able to participate in, and I very much enjoyed it. For any of you who are from the constituency of Edmonton Mill Woods, please know that my constituency office is dedicated to listening to your needs and hearing any issues or ideas that you may have. Again, thank you to the Edmonton Interfaith Centre for organizing this event and for having me here today. Thank you for all attending, and I wish you and your loved ones all the best as you celebrate Vaisakhi. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you very much, Minister Christina Gray. Thanks. I would request you to give me the copy of the message, and we will translate it and I mentioned this in all our gurdwaras. So rather than taking time in this, I know because you have to leave very shortly. Your appointment at 1 o'clock. Okay, now we have Councillor Mo Banga, our popular friend from our community, known to almost everybody for so many years. He has done so much work in the community and recently elected with a good majority. And we are sure that he will serve the community as well as his predecessors served. Mr. Amarjit Singh Sohi, whose place he has taken in the city council. I request Mr. Mo Banga to come and give the message of greetings from the city, from the mayor, and from himself. He is a member of our community.
Before I start my official speech that's written for me, I would say a few words in Punjabi. ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਹਜੇ ਤੱਕ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਤੇ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਐਕਸੈਪਟ ਮਾਈ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਟੂ ਆਲ ਆਫ ਯੂ for putting me in this place where I could officially thank you. So badi mehrmani saaryan di. Anyway, I would like to introduce a couple of people. Those are the people that when you phone and they would be answering your phone calls and any requests you make about broken bus stands or whatnot. Sumit Randhawa, she helps me in my office, and John. Again, so anytime you phone, these are the people you're going to be answering. The reason I introduced them to you was because then you know who you're talking to rather than just a voice, then you could connect a face to the voice. Again, good afternoon on behalf of City Council and the people of Edmonton. It is a pleasure to welcome everyone to City Hall as we launch the Sikh Interfaith Display. I would like to recognize members of Edmonton's Sikh community who are here today, all of you, as well as everyone involved in organizing the display in honor of Guru Nanak and for initiation of the Vaisakhi celebrations that's going to be followed later on this month. The birthday of Guru Nanak is an important celebration for Sikh, both in Edmonton and around the world. Guru Nanak helped bring attention to his belief in equality of all people. He emphasized universal goodwill towards others and respectful for all. This is a concept that's particularly relevant today, as many people around the world struggle for equality and basic human rights. Edmonton is a global city with diverse cultural makeup. We believe in the power of diversity and are working towards building a racism-free, inclusive city. The celebration of our faith program here at the City Hall provides a unique learning opportunity for many Edmontonians. It is also a building block towards creating a more mutually inclusive city by allowing us to recognize how different faiths contribute to the spiritual mosaic and multicultural fabric of our city. Thank you for taking time to teach us all about the Sikh faith. May we all continue to learn about Sikhism and celebrate being Edmontonians. Thank you. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Of the Sikhs in the two world wars, I hope our honorable guests have time to look at the display for a few minutes at the end of the program. And now I would request Mr. Jasdeep Singh Panesar. He would talk on the contribution of Sikhs in the two world wars and about the postal display. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed one line. I've been reminded. There's Mr. Shiraz Kanji from Interfaith, who will deliver the message from the Interfaith. I have been involved in Interfaith many years ago, and 1 year I was also director of the committee there in the Interfaith. So, Mr. Shiraz Kanji.
Very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ka Fateh. And my favorite line, Jo Bole Suni. Madam Minister, Councillor Banga, ladies and gentlemen, and especially you, Chairman of Edmonton, thank you very much. It is indeed our pleasure to see so many people at a festival such as this. Interfaith would not exist if all the faiths did not participate. And I must say that the participation of the Sikh community is very, very fundamental to interfaith. And we would like to see more, especially younger people, to become part of the interfaith, because that is what brings us together. I want to say thank you to the Sikh community for sharing this festival. Because if you didn't share this with us, we would never know about it. And I must say that I have very especially fond memories of the parades in Millwoods, and in fact the parade in Vancouver as well. Once I was there and my brother said, we have to go to this parade because it's really fulfilling. And it's really nice to see how the community comes together and shares everything with all the citizens, regardless of where they come from. So thank you very much. I just have one message. God has created flowers, but He did not create just one kind of flower. He created different flowers, and even in the different flowers there are different colors. And this is what makes a garden beautiful. This is why we like a garden. Humanity is also like that garden. And different faiths of humanity are also like that garden. So when these faiths and everybody comes together, we learn to appreciate and respect each other, and the world becomes peaceful and happier, which is what we all see. I grew up in East Africa, and so I completely understand the little saying that our Sikh brothers and sisters use, and that is Pagadi Sambal Chadda. That is the respect that we have for Pagadi. Thank you very much. And as was said earlier, this is the month for Sikh observing and celebrating the Sikh faith. We have a display. Please have a look at it and share this with your friends. Ask people to come and look at it. This is something that is given to us free of charge by the city. So thank you very much for all the support that we get from the province.
I'll go back to my previous announcement. Mr. Jasdeep Singh Panesar will talk about contribution of Sikhs in the two World Wars and the display that we are having here. Mr. Jasdeep Singh Panesar.
Before I begin, I'd just like to quickly address Punjabi कि आज तो मैं गल अंग्रेजी से विच करनी है पर मैं एक गल पिछले हफ्ते सुनी सी जो मैंने बहुत अच्छी लगी कि जिहड़ी आपां ये गल्लां सुनते हैं जिहड़ी आपां गल्लां ये सुनोगे कि इन्ने देशां दे विच सिखां ने की कीता आपां नूं ये भी चेता रखना चाहिए है कि अज जिहड़े देश आपां कर हैगा आपां इत्थे किहड़ियां चंगियां गल्लां सारियां लई कर रहे हैगे अते किहड़ियां करनियां चाहिए. So with that, I'd like to first give my greetings to the Honorable Minister, Greg, Councillor Benega, respected guests. My name is Jaz Manasar, or Jasdeep Panesar for those who have known me for a very long time. And I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak about, I guess I'm a little tall. My name is Jaz Manasar, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak about Sikh contributions to both world wars at this year's Celebrating Our Faith's launch for the Sikh display for the month of April. Before I begin, I would like to thank the City of Edmonton and the Edmonton Interfaith Centre for Education and Action, it's a great full name, everyone should know it, for creating and devoting such a prominent space to practice intercultural and interreligious understanding that further binds us as neighbors and as a community. We live in a time where common ground, learning, respect, and acceptance are always needed, one conversation at a time. Today's launch marks the Sikh New Year, which coincides with the Harvest Festival of Vaisakhi, and most important for Sikhs around the world, the creation of humanity's Khalsa in 1699. We've heard Sabrina speak about Vaisakhi and Khalsa. It's a remarkable human story about common people in the Indian subcontinent who put their common humanity ahead of divisions created by society, culture, religion, and many other things of the day. For me, as much as we hear about the Khalsa being the creation of, the formalization of Sikhism, one thing that also stands out to me is the creation of a knighthood called the Khalsa. But this wasn't any ordinary knighthood. This was a knighthood where individuals swore an oath not to a king or a queen or a country, but they committed to each other and in their common belief to serve all of humanity. The Khalsa and Sikh writings support and practice interfaith for the right for all human beings to pray and pursue life as they see. Our most holiest spiritual text, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, is actually an interfaith text with contributions from Sikh gurus, from Muslim saints, as well as Hindu poets and many other languages who recognize God by many names. Even though this created a belief in universal brotherhood and brought equality to men and women where men were divided and oppressed by lack of education and access to education and caste, and women were even further marginalized. The world today probably has a lot of work that we can continue to do. My short talk this afternoon is about the creation of Khalsa in 1699 and those seeds of serving humanity that led to the contribution of Sikhs to the Allied cause in both world wars. So when I sat down with this idea, we were discussing with Uncle G, I was like, how can we connect the two? The Khalsa in 1699 all the way to World War II in less than 5 minutes. Many, including myself, would not expect the relationship between Sikhs and Canada to date back over 200 of the 319 years since the Khalsa was created in 1699. So I'll start for Canada. Let's start with Charles Metcalfe, the Governor General of the Province of Canada in 1843, who on behalf of the British concluded the important treaty securing the independence of Sikh states between the Punjab rivers of the Sutlej and the Jumna in 1809 in India. When this treaty fell apart, the Sikh Kingdom of Punjab was eventually annexed by the British in 1849. Two of Canada's first 3 Victoria Crosses received their honors fighting alongside Sikhs in the battles of Lucknow and Delhi in India. The British required all Sikhs at this point enrolled in the army to wear their hair and beards unshorn, prescribed by their faith. In a secret dispatch, or an email of 1851, the Governor General of India issued an order that all Sikhs entering the British military should receive pahul, which is the Khalsa initiation baptism ceremony, and observe strictly the code of conduct of Sikhs. This pattern of Sikhs serving alongside British, Canadian, Indian, American, French soldiers was not the last. But before we get there, I came across something that was actually even a little bit funnier. Was the first Prime Minister of Canada, Sir John A. Macdonald, shortly after signing the British North America Act of 1867, making Canada a country, which I learned about in school, humorously wrote in a note to his friend, "War will come someday between England and the United States, and India can do us yeoman's service by sending an army of Sikhs across the Pacific to San Francisco, and holding that beautiful and immortal city and the surrounding California as security for Montreal and Canada. California as a Canadian province might have been interesting." Around me, you'll see various posters and quotes from those who came across Sikhs often for the first time, and their remarkable contributions to both world wars. I encourage everyone to take a look at them, take photos of them. They'll only be on display, I think, for this afternoon, and the rest of the display will be in the case. But to touch on World War I, really quickly, over 161,000 Indians and 3,500,000 Sikhs began in World War I. That grew to 100,000. To give you an idea, Sikhs made up 22% of the army, but only 2% of the population. By the end of World War I, every Sikh regiment on average had lost 80% of their men when they returned home. Sikhs fought memorably in all the places I learned in school in Canada. I didn't know Sikhs were there. Ypres, Flanders, Assam, Gallipoli, East Africa, Palestine, Egypt, Mesopotamia, and nearly all theaters of the war, fighting through filth, disease, gas attacks, and the onslaught of opposing troops, with only their turbans to protect them from the headwinds. Ishur Singh in World War I won the first Victoria Cross from Sikh regiments. A few Sikh volunteers also joined the British Armed Forces, and a few Sikhs contributed to the French Air Service, as well as the American Expeditionary Force. Moving on to World War II, Sikhs again answered the call in Burma against the Japanese. In Flanders, Italy, the Middle East, Ethiopia, parts of Africa, and even in the liberation of Greece. But in Japan, that's where the British Indian Army played its greatest role, holding off and being victorious in 1945. Sir John Maynard estimated that the contribution of Sikh community in men and material was 10 times that of any other community in India. Of the 22 military crosses awarded for conspicuous grievous gallantry to Indians, 6-1-14. General Sir Frank Maservi reflected, in the last two world wars, 83,005 turban-wearing Sikhs were killed and 109,000 were wounded. They all died or were wounded for the freedom of Britain and the world. Enduring shell fire with no other protection but the turban, the symbol of their faith. Standing outside of Sir Winston Churchill's personal square, who nearly lost his own life rescuing a fellow wounded Sikh soldier in the Malakand campaign of 1897, I think it's appropriate to close with his words. Those who know the Sikh history know England's relationship with the Sikhs and are aware of the achievements of the Sikhs. British people are highly indebted and obligated to the Sikhs for a long time, but I know that within this century we needed their help twice, and they did help us very well. As a result of their timely help, we are today able to live with honor, dignity, and independence. Thank you very much for your time. Do take a moment to check out the displays and enjoy some food.
Thank you very much, Jasdeep. I think we are almost on time to close this event. But Jasdeep, can you do me one thing? Can you bring that poster of Prakash Singh? I just want to talk about that for a minute or two.
Now we move in the art.
काम ही